Happy Friday. Wait.
Happy Friday.
Friday?
Yes, it is Friday.
That was a good guess. How are you doing?
Good. I'm trying to deal with a pug puppy that now is awake at an inconvenient time. He is discovered he can go under the bed and find all the remnants of, I just pulled a feather out of his mouth.
Oh.
He had an almond that Eloise had probably left in here from some point in time.
Now you have to train him to be a good human.
Just wait a week till it grows.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We need to wait till he gets a little bigger, and then his hopes of going under the bed and finding leftover food from Eloise will be dashed. Can you take him in there? He won't. I've tried pulling him out like 3 times, and he just keeps going in there.
Yeah. It's a new obsession.
He needs.
He's gonna find out.
What do you give a little baby pug to play with? Like the teeniest, tiniest little bone, like a toe bone, like a.
What about it? What about it?
Like the teeniest, tiniest bone for his little teeth.
Oh, I know. He does have tiny ones. Like he has a stuffed thing. I wish I had it in here. It's this big. It's a stuffed duck.
So small.
And it has one little circle squeaker in it, and he just carries it in his mouth like he's super tough.
He's the smallest.
He's gotten big though. I mean, bigger.
I am gonna make like a Japanese cabbage pancake, but like a completely bastardized, like white girl in quarantine.
Sure.
Never been to Japan. Like
I'm really excited about this one because you teased it with some bacon, which
I'm gonna make a shrimp one too. I have never been to Japan. I've never had anybody make this except me. So it sort of makes me laugh. I'm sure it's like wrong in so many ways, but
I don't remember seeing this. I'm sure it was places, but I don't remember seeing this.
We were recently in Japan, which is hard to even believe and imagine that once
exactly
that long ago.
We traveled recently. Back in February we were there. And I don't remember seeing this anywhere.
So they say it's like a street food and they make it on the street. And it's like some people call it Japanese pizza. I don't know if Japanese people call it Japanese pizza or if just, but I think the idea is that it's like this basic kind of like hot pancake that they make on a griddle. And then you can top it with so many things. So I think that's where the comparison is coming from.
Really excited that it involves cabbage. My brother-in-law Adam and his wife Jennifer, very into the cabbage. They got a lot at the beginning of this whole quarantine thing. They were thinking, what can we do with our cabbage? It lasts a long time. So for cabbage lovers, this is great.
I hope you sent them the ends and stems of what's in my fridge recipe finder, because if they type one other ingredient, they're going to get so many cabbage recipes, because I also think it's really good. Listen, it lasts in your fridge for like 3 weeks, and you can cut off little bits always at a time. I always have a green one and I always have a red one. But what makes me laugh about making this particular recipe that I have never seen a Japanese person make, or really any other person, is when I first started cooking when I was in high school, when I used to watch like the cooking channel and stuff on TV. I lived, in Rhode Island. It was a small rural town. There weren't a lot of restaurants at all, let alone like a variety of restaurants with different cuisines, a lot of Italian food. And that was kind of it. For some reason, I can't even remember, but I heard about falafel, and there were no falafel. Like nobody was going to drive me 40 minutes away to go taste falafel. And I can't really even remember why I got obsessed with it, but I really, really wanted to try one. So the only way I could do it was
live up to expectations.
No. It was terrible. I made the worst falafel ever. It's really hard to make falafel at home. You really need a deep fryer. Like you can healthy it up. You can bake it. You can do any number of things to try to do at home.
I needed falafel for a really long time because I think I had bad, dried out, not good falafel. And then from that point on, I never wanted to try it. But there's a place by us that redeemed falafel for me.
So good. Yeah. It is so good. When I got a little bit older and I got a car, we learned to drive to Providence, like near the Brown campus. There's like a little street. So we used to drive down there when I was like 16, 17, pretend we went to Brown and we're in college. We'd have crepes. And there was an amazing
What is it? Thayer Street?
Thayer Street. Yeah, you got it. We went there, right? I took you there.
Honorary Rhode Islander over here.
There's an amazing falafel shop called East Side Pockets. It's been there forever, and we used to go get real falafel. But it was one of the first things that I tried to cook to taste flavors that were outside of, you know, the food that my mom was making or the Italian restaurant nearby. And the point was not the result, but the experience and the learning and, you know, opening my eyes to different things. I don't even know if I knew what a garbanzo bean was. I probably didn't. I mean, I don't think so.
At the time where you were just learning about avocados too?
Avocados were not available in my town when I was growing up.
You can't believe that to be true.
When I got to college, I went to New York City, and that was the first time where every time you bought a turkey sandwich, they would assume you want avocado on that.
Yes.
But my entire 18 years before that, there were no avocados. We had guacamole, but nobody was like making it with avocados. It was like coming frozen.
That green paste stuff that you buy at stores?
Yeah.
No, we shouldn't even call that guacamole.
Right. So it wasn't good. We didn't like it. And then it was by the time, not till I got to college, that I saw actual avocado. Now, I will say in the 20 years since, you can definitely buy avocados there. I see them when I go visit and in the store.
I feel like I've had avocado in Rhode Island at some point in my visits.
I don't know. Anyway, so this is like the grown-up version of that. I'm making a dish I've never had before. I've never seen anybody else make, but I really like it because it holds up. It turns out it's also really, really flexible. There's a bunch of things on here that I don't actually have. So some of the ingredients to make this traditionally too are specialty items in
Japanese.
There's like a very specific type of potato that, you know, you're probably not going to find unless you're going to a Japanese or an Asian market or something. And then in my version of the recipe, I've tested it with using a sweet potato, which is what they recommend. I don't even have a sweet potato. So we're going to use another potato today.
This is a real adventure.
It's a real adventure. That's right. It's sunny and it's a good day here in San Francisco.
Patty would like to say we have avocados everywhere in Rhode Island.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying. But I can tell you that in the 90s, they did not. At least the little old Situate IGA did not. But I know they do now. I've bought them and had them, and but it changes. When I moved to California, I didn't know what a fig was, which is funny because in California, figs like grow wild, and you know everybody has fig trees in their backyard. Like I knew the word fig as in a fig Newton.
Yeah.
And didn't know what it was. The other one I remember when I got to California and seeing all the markets and stuff on the street that I had never seen before were persimmons. I did not know. And in so many of the stores,
a lot of people have persimmon trees.
Yeah.
Wow.
Those. But it was always written in Chinese characters. And I couldn't figure out what the name of it was for the longest time. Okay, so we're just shredding up some green cabbage here pretty finely.
Okay.
And I'm just doing it with my knife. If you have a mandolin, I kind of like doing this on the mandolin too, but
I just used my mandolin this week.
Did you? I love that you have a mandolin. What did you use it for?
I was doing garlic actually to get like those thin kind of narrow slices. I was making an Asian inspired like garlic chili noodle.
Awesome
thing.
That's even that's dangerous to mandolin though. So that's how you lose a finger.
Oh, so my girl Molly Boz, she said basically just make sure that you obviously pay very close attention and only go to like grating. Mm-hmm. Only go to like a very specific point and just save the leftover bits. Like don't go all the way down. Like go about like use more and go halfway and then you can save some leftover
for something else. Okay.
Yeah, versus going all the way down. Cause she said with garlic, like you said, it's very likely to,
Yeah. You can also kind of do like I'm doing here too. Can you see my hands?
Yeah.
Just make sure you lift your finger.
Yeah.
And do it. The palm of your hand is a little bit harder. It doesn't quite jump.
Is that the potato there?
Yeah, so that's the potato. So I'm adding the potato and
what kind of potato did you use?
What's that?
What kind of potato is it?
I used a Yukon Gold potato because that's what I have, but you could use a russet potato too, but you do want something that has a little bit of starch. That's kind of the point. It helps
Bind it together.
give it texture, and I'm making not quite as many as my recipe calls for. So I'm going to use 3 eggs. So it is a pancake that has eggs in it, but it's not like a frittata. So it's not so eggy that, it's all eggs because it's got flour and the cabbage to hold it together. So some eggs, but I don't know. The final result does not make me feel like it's a frittata or very eggy or something.
Okay.
Let me get my little whisk here. And then to this, we're also going to add water, which I have more. Ooh,
a little bit. Oh,
just
it's hot.
Yeah, it's hot. And we have flour. Oh, let's see. Wait, I have soy sauce, sesame oil, water, flour, salt. Yeah. Okay.
Do the kids like this?
What's that?
Do the kids like this? Like, will they eat this, or is it still too advanced?
They probably wouldn't. I would put some on their plate and see if I could convince them to try it.
Yeah, that's kind of our thing. Is at least try everything.
Yeah. It's like you're reading my blog. Did you read my blog post from this week?
I did. Yeah, you talked all about, you gave all list of different, you're feeding.
All about feeding kids.
Yes.
So what I would do on that note, like what I would do is, yes, I would give them a piece of this and, or rather I will, because we are going to eat this for dinner. I will give them a piece of it, put it on their plate and expect them, to take a bite or deal with it. But I will probably, first of all, I'll give them some bacon and shrimp on the side because those are the 2 that I will make so that they have that plain. And then probably for this, because I know they both love eggs, I would just do a separate little omelet with eggs. So it's the same pan, it's the same process. I do it at the same time. I'm not really making anything separate, and it'll look similar on their plate, but it won't have the cabbage and the potato in it. So Ramona may like this. It'll be interesting to see as we go because she's older, but even from the beginning, she's been much more willing to try food. Yeah. And so I got all smug and I was like, I know how to feed kids. I'm a chef. This is easy. Like picky kids is because you're doing something wrong. It's not really true. I take that all back, roll back the smugness because Felix is 2 now. He should be tasting things. He is just like, no, not going to do it. He throws things on the floor.
That's how Eloise was. She would stuff that she used to love when I could just feed her myself, and she had no opinions. All of a sudden she turned 2 and it was like, nope, I don't like that. And she would look at stuff and be like, by the look of it, I don't like it. Even though it's like, you've eaten this a million times, you like the taste of it. Nope. He did that with beans. Like for the longest time, it was like, no, I don't like beans. I was like, you do like beans. No, I don't. Yes, you do. It's like they're brown and mushy on my plate, but they're delicious.
He won't even try things, not interested, can't even get him to lick things. He does weirdly eat vegetables sometimes, but if we're encouraging him, like with Ramona, we could just say, okay, try 1 bite of this. And then if you don't like it, you don't have to have any more. But with him, I'll say, hey, try a bite of your broccoli and then you can have more mac and cheese. And he'll just be like, nope, not going to do it. So we're trying to do, I forget which rule I had it down in my feeding kids, but we're trying just to be, if he doesn't want to eat it, we just move on, put something else on his plate, see what happens. Yeah,
they said definitely try not to make a struggle out of it. Though I will tell you, there was many times I made a struggle out of it just by sheer frustration of having food that she'd eaten before and then decided.
But it's so frustrating. It's like, you do all this work to make dinner and you sit down. Sometimes, at the end of the day, you're like, I just don't want to feed you people. If it were just me, I would sit down with crackers and cheese and a glass of wine and call it dinner. Yeah. Why do I have to keep feeding you? There's actually a podcast called Didn't I Just Feed You?
That's funny.
So true. And then when you sit down and it's just such a struggle and they won't eat anything, it's infuriating.
It is infuriating.
So I get why you could turn it into a struggle. Okay, so I'm looking at the recipe because I'm trying to cut it in half here. I do not want 6 of these. No food waste. Hashtag no food waste.
Hashtag no food waste.
If you were watching, like I sprinkled in the salt. I sort of measured the flour.
Okay.
I sprinkled in the soy sauce, but I'm going to definitely measure the baking powder because you don't want to have too much of that. It could throw it off. So that's one of those ingredients that you don't really want to eyeball.
You gotta measure. You can't eyeball it.
So if you make this the like real Japanese way, the potato that you put in it actually is part of the leavening, so that helps make it healthy. So to make up for that is why we're using the baking powder to sort of approximate with, classic American every store ingredients here. So, okay, let me make sure I got everything here. Now, you can definitely let this sit for a while. So I'm gonna let it just kind of hang out. Let's see if I can do it to you. Ooh,
Looks good.
I just finished an online video training on like how to speak and present online, and it was all about executive presence. So here is the executive presence of cabbage.
Looks lovely.
Looks like a boss,
cabbage,
right? Cabbage boss. Okay, actually, I'm gonna put this over here because that's hot. Okay, I've got 2 saute pans ready to go. We're gonna do a shrimp one and a bacon one.
Okay.
So let me get my bacon.
Yeah. No.
Is it warm in LA? You're wearing a tank top, and it's not that warm here.
Oh yes, it is. I mean, thankfully, it's not quite as warm as it was. Let me actually find out what the temperature is for you. It is currently 76 degrees here, which is lovely.
That sounds dreamy.
It's gonna get up to 82 by this afternoon. Just heaven. We're having light.
Not so hot. Okay, so for my bacon, I'm gonna leave it in. I have kind of small pan. Let's turn this on. I'm gonna do them both at the same time so we can see how fun. Now I wish I had scallions. That's the one ingredient I don't have that I wish I had. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? Is I'm just gonna chop up a tiny bit of onion to put it in there.
Okay.
This is totally off script, but I feel like especially with like potatoes and cabbage, you really need that oniony flavor.
Uh-huh.
And I could use shallot, I could use scallions, I could use so many other things that I don't have any of them. So I'm just going to do a little bit of onion. Okay. Great.
Ryan Ziske would like to say that the Danville weather is delightful.
Oh. Yeah, it looks, I can see across. I can actually see Danville. I have an amazing view of Mount Diablo from my house, and I can see when it is warm.
Look who's been delivered to me.
Oh, let me see that guy.
Finally, he's not being a menace.
So cute. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of oil. That was kind of a lot. I'm just using like a really basic canola oil or something.
Okay.
And then for the bacon one.
I have a question real quick back to the onions. Patty says, if I don't like scallions or onions or shallots, what could I use? How do you get oniony flavor with not oniony substances?
Yeah, if you want to just not have the oniony flavor, you can just not add it. If you like the oniony flavor and none of that, just add dried onion powder. Yeah. But I guess it depends if you like the flavor or not. I think with some things, you could even just do it really, really lightly. You're never going to bite into an onion, but I think with potato and cabbage, the idea of not having onion is, I don't know. I don't know if I can get behind that. I suppose you could use
think that might be the Polish in you, because I feel like Matt would say the same thing. You can't have cabbage and potatoes. And
it almost doesn't even make sense. But you could use garlic. You could use, like I said, the dried powder. You could use ginger maybe, or just, do it without, maybe add a little more soy sauce. I want to show you how I have the bacon layered in here.
Yeah.
You see it?
Uh-huh.
So I did it in one layer, but it's really coating the bottom of the saute pan.
Mm-hmm.
because I want this to be like the topping of it. So I kind of zigzagged it across. Now for the other one, I'm going to do shrimp.
Okay.
And these are frozen still. I just pulled them out of the fridge.
Okay.
Or sorry, freezer. That's where things go to get frozen. And I'm going to chop them up because they're too, so you could chop them up and actually just stir them into the batter if you want. But what I always love about the bacon one is that it has like this nice, beautiful topping of bacon on it. So I want to do a similar thing with
a person knocking. Please hold.
You have a person knocking? Is it a small person? So I'm just cutting the shrimp kind of coarsely into like thin strips. And this is going to go into the bottom. I'm just going to send it in frozen so it'll splatter a little bit, but it's going to go right into the bottom of the pan. Okay, there is that. Moving this over.
So it's okay to cook with you don't have to thaw shrimp before you cook it?
So here's what's going to happen. It's going to essentially poach instead of brown.
Okay.
So, because I've allowed all the ice now to melt in the water.
Yeah.
So if you are okay with them turning out like pinker, like poached shrimp rather than browned, like sauteed shrimp,
okay,
grilled shrimp or something, then it's fine to do it. And for this dish, actually, the fact that they'll be nice and bright pink on the top and not brown is actually going to be really pretty. Also, sometimes you just want shrimp and they're frozen. So
it's true. I have found myself in conundrums such as that before.
Yeah, like
they usually don't take that long to thaw. If you want,
you can either have no shrimp or you can have pink shrimp.
I don't mind pink shrimp.
You know? Okay. So now we're gonna take the batter, and I have to make two here. So I'm gonna scoop this in right on top of the bacon.
Ooh, okay, okay.
That's why we made that pretty looking little bed, and that's why we took the time to make it. I've also let it cook here long enough so that it's starting to get a little bit brown. And usually I'm a big fan of thick cut bacon, right? Because that tastes the most amazing. But for this, a thinner slice of bacon is actually better because
I was actually going to ask that about the bacon.
Yeah, it'll come all the way through this way without worrying about it not being.
And really, you could do this with a lot of, like, you could make a totally, like, tofu you could do.
Yeah, you could do tofu. If you wanted to do vegetarian too, you could just leave the meat off it. You don't need to put anything in it. If you had like pulled pork and made that as the little base so it would get all crispy on top, that would be kind of amazing. Okay, so I'm going to push this in, and now I'm just making sure, now that it's sat for a little bit, like some of the liquid came out of the cabbage from having the salt and everything, so it's got like a little liquidy kind of barrier.
Is that what you want?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry, coming back. Okay. So I'm gonna let that go a little bit. So I'm gonna pop these in the oven because it just helps them go a little bit, right? It kind of helps them firm up from the middle.
What's the oven set at?
I have it at 350.
Okay.
This is what I'm looking for.
And then you put them both on the same rack?
I did, yeah, because I had two little pans. You could make a big one of these. You could make a small one. Bigger will be a little bit harder to flip later. And the small ones, I think, look really beautiful on the plate when you get the whole one.
Yeah.
But if you make a bigger one, you can slice it. And then actually it looks pretty cool that way too.
Okay.
So part of the fun of this is mayo.
Okay.
I had the world's largest container of mayo. Like seriously, it was like your pug could fit in it probably 6 times. It was 6 times worth of mayo. And this is the end
amount of mayonnaise.
So I had to take it out of the big container because it was ridiculous. So we're gonna make like a spicy, tangy mayo. So there's a mayo that's called like Kewpie mayo. That's like, I don't know, they say you can't really approximate it with like white American mayo, and it's like more lemony, limey. but we're also going to make it like hot saucy. And I ran out of my sriracha, which would be my...
That's the first thing that came to mind is like a sriracha mayo type.
Yeah, sriracha. The combination of sriracha and mayo just like stirred together is one of
so great
the best things ever. I mean, French fries, hamburgers.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
With potatoes. Like
there's nothing that it's not good on.
So good. Avocado. But Cholula will work. And then I'm going to add a little bit of lemon to it too, just to kind of give it that tangy situation. The other thing we want from this is we want it to be kind of watery, or I guess drizzly.
Yeah.
So the lemon serves to do that and make sure that the mayo isn't too thick.
Nice.
Right. Yeah. And then I actually bought this sauce. So this is called Bulldog Sauce.
What does it say on it?
It is vegetable and fruit sauce. Tonkatsu sauce.
Yeah. Tonkatsu sauce. So good.
Vegetable fruit sauce. So in the recipe for this, I followed instructions that actually somebody else developed online to make something that approximates this sauce.
Okay.
I had never tasted it before. I just bought this on Amazon and it's really good. It's good on also hamburgers. It's good on chicken. So I've used it on, it's good on roasted vegetables. I've used it on a bunch of things, but that is the sauce we're going to use here.
We have another question.
Yeah.
Patty says, how long does sriracha last after opening? And also, does it need to be in the fridge?
Yes. Sriracha needs to be in the fridge. How long does it last? Forever. Like
until the end, until it's gone, it'll be fine.
So what I was laughing at actually as I was setting up and realized I was out of sriracha, is have you ever run out of a bottle of sriracha? Like, have you ever used the whole thing?
I didn't even know that you there's a bottom to it. I feel like it's just like ever growing.
I feel like I've gone into so many people's houses and they have like one bottle of sriracha and this much in another one because somehow they got 2 bottles. And so I feel like how long does sriracha last is sort of a question of like if a tree falls in the forest.
Yeah, for sure.
It lasts until you eat it all, if that's even possible.
Yeah.
But miracles do happen, and I finished a bottle of sriracha. I don't know when my prize is coming for that.
And you don't have any idea how long you had it for?
Ever. Yeah.
Oh, Patty says, oops, mine is opened and not in the fridge. That's how infrequently I use it.
Yeah, I do believe that it needs to go in the fridge.
I think it does. Everybody I know keeps it in the fridge. Probably one of those refrigerate after opening, but I imagine there's also a lot of salt and vinegar in it. It's probably not necessarily going to go bad in the pantry, but it's a safety thing, I would guess.
The one thing I was going to say about it, especially on these really vinegary, salty condiments that last for a long time, is just make sure you keep the top of it clean. Because if any part of it were to grow mold or go bad or have anything gross happening, it would be up around the spout or kind of in the rim. So
I can wipe that before I do it. I feel
as long as you seal it up and wipe it, it should last for a really long time. Okay, I'm going to check on these.
Great.
And
Patty says she's learned something new today. We are happy to educate, Patty.
That is what we're here for.
Mainly that's what Allie's here for. I'm just
her
dedicated audience.
Okay, so you can see kind of on the edges. It's still really raw in the middle. So I'm going to move these back up to the burners. And we're going to flip them. You could have left this on the burner the whole time. Okay.
Oh, you could have. Okay.
Yeah, you could have.
You just felt like the oven was faster, or?
Yes.
Okay.
So now it's kind of like a frittata.
Yeah.
Which one is this? I switched. So this is shrimp. I'm going to do that 1 second. Oops. Okay.
And are you going to put these on a plate, flip it on a plate?
I'm going to just flip and see what happens.
Oh, wowzers. This is getting exciting, folks. Will it end up in the pan?
I can't. All right, I'm going to crank this up because
it's not cooked all the way on the bottom.
I'm also going to I'm just like, you can see I'm kind of loosening it here.
Is that to get some of the more liquid there, or
actually to just make sure that it's
slippable?
in the pan. See, now I can kind of spin it around.
Yeah.
But this is my bacon one, and it's not quite brown enough. Okay, so maybe I'll do this one. All right. This is Facebook Live, people. So isn't that half the fun?
More than half, I'd say.
No. Sorry. So,
yeah.
Watch anything good on TV recently?
You know, I feel like in this whole, we're home all the time dealy bobber that we're dealing with, I have watched all the things.
Oh yeah.
I feel like before this happened, there was so many things I never got to, and like would recommend stuff. Now I feel like I'm watching 18 million things.
I feel like we never have any time to watch TV. We keep trying and it's not happening. We did watch the Octavia Spencer show with Madam CJ Walker. I can't remember the name of the show.
The one that's on Apple Plus?
I think it's on Netflix, and it's about
Netflix. Yeah.
starting a Walker hair care. It's fantastic. I could not be any more in love with her. Tiffany Haddish is amazing.
I love her. That's something we haven't watched.
Okay.
I'm, trying to get through Westworld. I feel like I'm the only person still watching Westworld. Am I the only person watching Westworld?
We didn't do it.
What?
We haven't started.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm actually just going to do a spatula under here because
that's way less theatrical and exciting.
I know. I'll try the other one, but there's bacon grease in here, and it's not
right
if I splatter my face with bacon grease.
Woo! Beautiful.
Oh, that's so good.
You're going to wait till dinner to eat that? I find it hard to believe.
No, I'm going to shut the camera and eat them both right here all by myself.
I mean, it's the only sane thing to do.
This one. Ooh, this one smells really good. That shrimp.
Patty, we read that too. We read Defending Jacob. I was just talking to Allie about that. I don't remember the book, but we did read it. And I know there is a show. Let me know how it is.
Okay, look.
I'm talking so that people don't see what happened with Allie.
No, so I broke it, right? It ripped in half. So I'm just going to put the other half, and we're going to put it all together. So for all of my cockiness about using frozen shrimp, it added water to it. Yeah, and it made it a little bit, so it is less brown. So it doesn't look as pretty as the, it doesn't look as pretty as the bacon one. So I'm going to just flip this to broil, and I'm just going to pop it in the broiler and fix it.
Are you going to throw some butter on top or something?
No, the shrimp will get brown this way because it's all dried out.
I know, but butter.
I'm hungry. You shouldn't do this when you're hungry. Okay. Okay. That's it. This is done. So
it was awesome. Can I say that I'm definitely going to make this?
It's actually really fast, right? How long has this been?
I have frozen shrimp in my freezer right now.
So yeah, see, this size is awesome. I mean, this portion is a little big for one person, maybe, but
that looks beautiful, Allie.
Beautiful. Then, so I wish I had green onions.
I know. You need the green and sprinkle on top. I hear you. Well, I'll pretend it's there.
I just had to check and make sure the bacon tastes good.
Sure.
Okay.
I need to buy some of that stuff. I love that stuff.
Yeah, it's really good. So like I said, you can make your own like approximation. So I'm just squiggling back and forth. And then when I did this for a photo before, I actually put this in a squeeze bottle too. But you can just do a little.
Patty says Bobby C loves shrimp. Maybe he'd like this.
Yeah, and potatoes. He might do it.
So funny the way you guys talk about him. He might try it.
Yeah. If I were in charge of feeding my dad every night, I would treat him like Felix, basically. I would be like, this is what we got. I made that meal, no saying it's yucky. And if you throw any food on the ground, you're going to go have a timeout.
Is that sesame seeds?
Yep. Lots of sesame seeds, just plain white. And yeah, it's really sad not to have anything green to put on here.
Even some cilantro. Oh yeah, still it's a thing of beauty, Al.
Right?
Yeah.
Tastes even better. But what I want to show you is, let's see, where'd my knife go?
I want to see the shrimp one too before we get off.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay, quick poll. Do I want to show you the inside or do I just want to take a bite out of this immediately?
No, you got to show us. Show the people. Oh, yeah, that looks good.
Bacon on top. So you can kind of see it's a little eggy, but it's not going to come across as like full egg.
No, it seems great. Is it amazing? Of course it is. What's not to love? It's got potato, cabbage, bacon.
Honestly, I don't know why you would make a frittata when you could make that. And it's like similar. It's got more vegetables in it, fewer eggs. It's so good. You could put like carrots, zucchini. You could shred mushrooms. You could make like a whole
that would be good.
Shredded vegetable bastardization, okonomiyaki. It's like we may have gone so far from the original dish. We need to make.
Can we call it that anymore?
I'm not sure where that line is, to tell you the truth. Okay. Can you see my head?
Part of it.
I'm just trying to get some color on here. So I was telling you offline, we have a little backyard space and it was like a really big deal that we were going to fix it up. And, so many people are gardening and things. I planted strawberries and I think I'm actually going to get some berries. But the whole point, we rent our house. So the whole point was to do it on a budget so that we're not like investing crazy amounts of money into. I'm still holding this in the broiler, by the way. That's why I'm standing like this. And we dug up, we put in this patio, we laid out the garden. It looks beautiful. We well within our budget and very proud of ourselves. And then we realized we had 22 bags of dirt that cost hundreds of dollars to have removed and basically no other option to get rid of it. So we just tripled our budget.
Out of curiosity, what did you think was going to happen with all that dirt? Like, did you think the city would come take it away or?
Yes, I did. And because I thought you could put compost scraps and stuff, and you can, but it can only be trimmings, but you can't just do dirt. And the other thing is, I am not a gardener. When I envisioned this project, I did not picture ending up with 20 bags of dirt.
I'm just curious. I wouldn't know either. What
I sort of just pictured everything going on top of where it was. Yeah. I didn't really realize. Okay, so here's the shrimp one.
Oh, it's nice.
Also looks good. So, I definitely had more trouble with this one here. So maybe I would say don't cook frozen shrimp. But
buy your shrimp, people. Buy your shrimp.
Here's what's interesting about it. I don't know if you can tell, but even though it fell apart, you actually can't really tell because once I flipped it and put it back together, it had time to set so that it came back together. So it doesn't really even matter. And let's say you were going to serve it like this and you put it on your plate.
Did you put any oil or butter in the pan?
I did. I put oil in the pan.
Oh, yeah, the oil. Yeah. It's just the bacon I think because it has its own fat, it made it so much easier.
Yeah. So maybe for the shrimp one, I've actually never made a shrimp one before. I've made plain and then with bacon. So maybe for the shrimp one, I would do some butter in the pan. Maybe go ahead and defrost them and make sure they're not wet. The other idea I have now is that you could just cook it without the shrimp in the bottom of the pan and then nestle the shrimp in the top and then have the shrimp when you flip it to cook the second side. I think that might work as well. But the taste of the shrimp was really good and also pretty traditional too, because normally the photos of the ones they serve in Japan are piled high with the bonito, which is like dried shrimp or tuna flakes. And so it's got that seafood taste.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks really pretty. I like it, and it's an easy way to, do shrimp a little bit differently.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I don't really even see any reason you couldn't do bacon and shrimp.
No.
So last week we had some people make chocolate chip cookies because they were so inspired by you. Thanks, Casey. And some others. So I would love to see if anybody makes this week and posts it.
I really would like to make it this week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to set that as a goal, is to make that this week.
It's really good.
What I'm going to cook next Friday, because I do not know yet. It's all dependent kind of on what I can get at the store.
Mm-hmm.
I will have something figured out and we'll post what I'm going to make, sometime next week.
Can't wait.
But I don't know. I do not know.
Can't wait. Well, tell your little co-host that I said hello and we missed her today.
She wanted to join again today. The girl loves the camera. She was really like, can I do the show with you? I'm like, no.
I almost got a makeover today. I had some hot pink lipstick on this morning and she was trying to come at me with sparkly eyeshadow, and I managed to tone it down. Part of what I learned, you need to present yourself authentically. And if I showed up, looking like Dolly Parton.
Always really likes to give me the blue eyeshadow when I get my makeover. A lot of blue, a very heavy blue. It's like 1982 blue eyeshadow everywhere.
Mona is all about the lipstick. And then the part that cracks me up is like, I don't know where she gets this. I can't pinpoint the TV show, but she has like a little blush stick and she draws circles on her cheeks. Like, I don't know where that came across that. It's very funny. It cracks me up, but
it's cute.
All right, my friend. Well, it's fun cooking with you. And
I'm going to try this.
I'm totally sorry that you don't get to eat this.
I am also really sad. My stomach is actually growling right now. I'm so hungry. I still have some frozen cookie dough.
All right, fine. Touche. You win.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye. See you later.